on, guys. Um, in this little installment, I guess I'm going to do that. I just wanted to go through the PB patch notes for anybody that hasn't seen them or maybe doesn't really know how to find them. I was just going to go through kind of like what the changes are going to be. For the most part, they're just nerfs. I think, I mean, if you look at the public beta patch notes, they look a little bit mixed with what they're saying, so I think that some of this stuff is backwards. But I guess the main nerfs that everyone's going to be upset about is to Ezreal, because I know a lot of people are playing Ezreal, and then the second biggest nerfs are going to be to Rengar. Which is gonna suck because I really like Rengar, but I don't know. He got nerfed before, like they buffed him, and they were just like then they kind of fixed him because he was like a little bit glitchy, and then so they buffed him and they fixed him, and then they were like, oh, now that he's fixed and he works the way he's supposed to, he's really strong. And then I think he got so strong that everyone just kind of was just like, oh, nerf Rengar, he's way too strong. And then the train just kind of continued. Because even now, I mean, he's good, but he's not any crazier than anybody else, really. But he still kind of seems to be taking the fire of it. So I'm going to go over these. So first off, Ezreal, his Essence Flux got nerfed, no longer slows enemy attack speed. And this is what a lot of people were getting first. It's its W. And it essentially would do damage only to champions, but any champion that it passed through on the enemy team, it would slow their attack speed at level 5, would slow their attack speed by 40%, and it would buff your champions that it passed through relatively with attack speed. And so now it just buffs your own teammates. So you might see a little bit of a change in how Ezreal's using this. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do, because now it's gonna be like you're gonna have to make a choice whether you want to use Essence Flux against the enemy team in team fights or use it for your team if you've got like a really strong top lane or something like that to give them the attack speed. But they're definitely gonna play with that, I think, a little bit. But this is really going to screw Ezreal, because a lot of people say that, he's just a poker and he's really only good at like dueling. He doesn't have good lane clearing, so his kills are kind of where he picks up his money, and he's not going to have that. But at the same time, I did understand that like Ezreal really could come in and just start a fight with Essence Flux, and you couldn't beat him because he would just nail you, and then he'd use his Mystic Shot. And then he'd have all this attack speed and you'd have none, and he'd just kind of like he could just trade with everybody like crazy, especially like when he has a flash. I don't know, a lot of people are just like, it's been a while that people are like Ezreal is overpowered, and now it's finally coming down that he's gonna get the nerf sauce all over his face. Sadly, for the people that like him. Next, Rengar. Rengar is also getting the rape too. His Q is getting nerfed. Here on the patch notes, it's saying it's getting a bonus, but I don't think it's a bonus. It's because if you read it, it's basically they call it League of Rengar, and they're basically just saying that he's too strong. And they want to nerf his ferocity charge savagery attack down to a more reasonable level, because you can double Q, and it can really mess people up. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit biased, right? Because I like playing Rengar, but the nerfs are kind of heavy, like especially after the nerfs that just came in. Like he's just gonna be all like he's gonna get pushed down to like like a tier 2, tier 3 kind of champ, I think, which is sad because there's people that are still way stronger than Rengar, but I think it's just he kind of got the publicity there when he got the buffs, and then they were seeing how much he was destroying people, and now they're just gonna nerf him into the ground. So on top of his Q, they're nerfing the ultimate. It's going to have considerably longer cooldown, which sucks. And the invisibility is also going to be a shorter duration because everyone is crying about the fact that Rengar can blow his ultimate to get out of a fight, which I mean a lot of champs can do, but I think it's like I said, it's just the publicity of that he got from those buffs, and then a lot of people started using him, and he was getting these crazy like win loss ratios and stuff because he was buffed. But I mean, that was before the last nerf that just hit that hurt his Q and hurt his W. And then on top of that, they are nerfing his health per 5 seconds, and it was 7.05 plus 8 times your level, and now that's getting nerfed, and now it's 3.6. So the base amount is half, and the amount he gets per level is halved, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I feel like, to be honest, he's just gonna become W Rengar, and people like, it wouldn't really surprise me to see an uprising of ability power based Rengar. Wouldn't surprise me at all because he's still got that 80%. And now that his Q is even less viable, with the damage bonus, I mean, it might not hurt him that much, but how many times are they going to nerf him, right? Before he's just a shitty champion that no one wants to play. I mean, already you have less time to plan out your ultimate. You have less time to use it. They're gonna make it so you can't use it to get away. People on the beta are saying, you have to be a lot smarter about how you use your ultimate because you've got such a short time frame to use it, which is kind of disappointing because I really liked Rengar, but after the last nerf, I was kind of just like, I see what they're gonna do. So I don't know. I guess it kind of made me feel like I had to move on to play different champs because he's just gonna get destroyed, until not even one single person that just started playing the game cries about him. Because I think that's kind of what's happening now, and yeah, and I mean, he's not even that crazy. There's definitely champs that can kick Rengar's ass all day, like Shaco, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen Shaco get away countless times, and it's just a regular move that he gets away with. It's not even like an ultimate. So I mean, I don't really see the point of it, but he's gonna turn back into Refungar probably. But I don't know why they're deciding to nerf him so badly. But anyway, so that's done with that. Got my little broken-hearted Rengar story out of my system. Now, finally, so they are trying to balance, I think, some of the supports. Mainly Blitzcrank and Sona are getting nerfed by having less base health and less health per level. Sona's just getting less base health, and then I think this is more for early game. And Sona's actually getting a base armor increase of 2, so a negligible amount there, really. But I think it was just like, it's very easy to get that first blood with Blitzcrank bottom lane with your AP or your AD carry, sorry. So they're going to be nerfing those two. Just a little bit, like kind of like a level 1 nerf sort of deal. Then they're going to follow that up with Jace is going to be he's going to be a little bit more costly for his mana moves. I mean, well, his mana moves they all use mana, but his moves are going to be a little bit more costly, because they're so cheap, and it just seems like Jace can just stay in a lane all day. And they're removing a bit of the base damage from his Thundering Blow, so he's not such a beast, basically, early game, sorry. And So they're toning Jace down, and again, this is something that a lot of people have been talking about for a while, like nerf Jace because he's crazy, and I agree he's crazy. I don't have him, but like I've when Jace is in top lane, and unless you've got someone that directly counters him, if such a thing exists, he's gonna beat you out of lane, whether melee or from a range. So that I feel is kind of understandable. Now, on the positive side of things, Syndra is basically kind of getting what Rengar got. Now they're just kind of fixing bugs with her moves, because obviously she does have that weird kind of play style with with her balls. So they're gonna change some of the bugs, and I think they're just gonna make her a little bit more fluid, kind of like the same thing they did with Rengar initially when he was just he just felt choppy. And I think I mean, I haven't played Syndra. Uh, like she just had such a horrible reputation as just a bad champion. So I never bothered with her, but maybe this will kind of bring her up, and I think they're going to continue to kind of buff her until people play her and buy her, and then they're going to probably do the same thing they do to Rengar, where they just, oh good, everybody bought her and wasted their refunds on previous champs, so now let's nerf her into the ground. Just kidding, but maybe. Now on top of that, that's really the end of, oh, I guess one last one is Eve. She's just getting a nerf to her ultimate, and I think, like they were just saying, because she does kind of snowball really crazily, she gets a couple kills and then she's just a beast, so they're nerfing her ultimate. And I guess it was actually the conjunction of Eve with Deathfire Grasp is what they were saying specifically, that she could pretty much just blow somebody up every minute, basically, with the cooldown of Deathfire Grasp. She was just blowing people out of the water. Which is probably true. I mean, I've played against some Eves, and especially an Eve that was comboed with a Teemo, and basically Eve would just sit on Teemo's mushrooms, and she'd be in a bush, and you'd run and get slowed by Teemo's mushroom, and then Eve would basically just eat your face off. And she snowballs hella crazy, like we couldn't stop her, and she's pretty much one-shotting my entire team. And I was playing Rengar, and I couldn't stop her, and that was before he got nerfed, so that tells you something. Now finally, they're adding a couple items, I think, for the new Twisted Tree line. Like some of them are specifically for that, but they're changing Phage and Trinity Force. And this is mostly, again, for Ezreal and for Corki, who is hella strong. And that's basically because they can apply all their on-hit effects with their moves. And so what they are going to be doing is basically reducing the slow from Phage, and as well from Trinity Force. And this isn't going to affect melees. It's just for the ranged people. And it was essentially because the two of these guys could basically get off a permanent slow on somebody. And so I think Ezreal's, like, these are all tentative, right? But if these go through, Ezreal is severely going to be hampered when it comes to dueling, because that's kind of his thing right now, is he's like the AD carry duelist, and he's not going to have that anymore. And I think that's a lot of people are going to be really upset, because how many people didn't buy Pulsefire Ezreal, so that's pretty much it. And I guess the last little bit is Elise is coming soon, and she actually looks kind of interesting. She basically is another one of those transforming champions, and she actually does look quite interesting. She's got a spider form, and she basically gets spiders when she uses her moves in human form, and then when she turns into the spider form, she gets those little spiders that she's attained a while in her human form, and her human form is supposed to be like an AP kind of caster, and then her spider form's kind of like this bruisery assassin, from what I've been hearing on the beta. So I am kind of excited to see her, and I might buy her when she comes out, just to kind of show her off on my channel. So if she comes out and she isn't completely horrible, or maybe even if she is, just to kind of have some fun with her and see if I can get some kills with her, then I might do that as well. So I don't know. That's pretty much all that changes, except for they're changing Twisted Tree Line, which will be nice. I think they're just gonna update it a bit. I'm not sure if it's just graphically or if they're just changing the entire map, but I'm sure more updates will be coming soon. And so far that's pretty much it, except for a couple minor ones. Aurelia got a bit of a range boost on her ultimate. Caitlyn got a bit of a range boost on her net, and Trundle got a little bit of a mana reduced cost on his Q, and then finally was just Skarner with his W. The cooldown got slightly increased. But other than that, that's pretty much all the updates for now. And I will keep you guys in the know. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.